Hello, my name is Helene. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is the final part of my Throne of Glass reading vlog. I am starting off strong with the tandem read. Empire of Storms starts the whole thing off, an adventurous and action-filled beginning, much more than any of the other books, and I am loving it. It's so good. I'm so excited. I went ahead and tabbed where I am switching chapters. That way I can keep track and I'm not constantly referencing the guide that I found online. I can just smoothly switch between the sequence of chapters that I need to. Both books are a good 700 pages each, so prepare for a long vlog. I will keep you updated. I just realized my necklace is backwards. That is such an L. Okay, we're good. So as you can see right here, I have a little tab. It is backwards right now, but it says Tower of Dawn page. That's either a 12 or a 17. And then I go to that chapter in Tower of Dawn, and then that's what I've been doing. If you guys want, I am happy to go through a little quick tutorial of exactly how I organized all of my tabs for the tandem read. That way it's nice and easy, seamless transition between the two books. I would definitely leave a link in the description though to the person who had the whole outline of how to read these books. That was so incredibly helpful of this person to do that, and I want to give them the credit that they deserve because they helped me so much. Anyways though, I have some thoughts so far. I love that Helene brought Fleetfoot to the whole meeting with like all the lords or whatever. Like she said, she's just trying to go into everything now, just being completely herself, and I feel like that was such a great way to start off. As I said before, the beginning of Empire of Storms was crazy, so action-packed. I absolutely loved it, and it immediately hooked me into the story. I think it's so cool that we are now in Urine's perspective, who was the healer who had been helped by Helene in the Assassin's Blade. Such an awesome full circle moment, something that only the people who have read the Assassin's Blade as of right now can appreciate, and I love that detail. I couldn't remember if she ever gave her name in the Assassin's Blade, so it took me a second to put two and two together, but it was so fun and exciting. I'm so glad she made it to her dream, to what she wanted to do. I also really love how Helene refers to the champions trials that she experienced in Throne of Glass as a ridiculous competition. There's just something so funny about that. I will say at first it was a little bit of a struggle to get into the tandem read, only because there was so much going on and there was so much new information and scenery to absorb all at once, considering I started two books at basically the same time. But now that I'm in them, I am enjoying it so much. I really see the value in reading both books at the same time, and it is incredibly obvious in both books when reading them side by side that it is happening in the same timeline. But yeah, whoever came up with the idea to read them both at the same time, so far, genius. Could not imagine reading it any other way. I I am going to do some more reading right now, but I just want to come on here and do a little complaining. Empire of Storms is such a good floppy book. It lays open so nicely. I can just flip and flip, and it's a good time. Now, Tower of Dawn, I got both of these on Amazon, so they did me really dirty, because this one, look at that, just like Air of Fire, I have to like pry this thing open. I love this book, but every single time I switch from Empire of Storms to Tower of Dawn, it feels like a punishment. Lysandra is officially the coolest character in the entire book, besides Aelin. She and her shape-shifting, turning into a sea monster, was so cool. I've said this so many times as well, but Aelin is so smart and creative, and her scheming is just so incredibly good. I feel like Aelin and Rowan are the definition of enemies to lovers. Usually I'm really good at being able to tell when an enemies to lovers is going to happen, especially because it's my favorite genre, but I truly did not see how they would get there, and they did! I'm so happy for them, but really surprised how it turned out. The slowest of slowest burns transition from enemies to lovers, but I'm loving it. I'm so glad that Elide and Lorcan kind of started sorting out their stuff and like sharing a little bit more, and not as much just like scheming each other out of doing things. We're getting somewhere. And I really appreciate that he did not completely lose it on Elide after he found out that she was hiding stuff from him. I do love that after their entire blow-up argument on the boat, Lorcan closed off the argument saying, "I'm still calling you my wife." Like, that is so good. Yeah, I'm super liking the whole back and forth between the books. I'm in the Empire of Storms section where there's just a huge gap, and I'm trying my best to get through it. I'm missing Kale and Urine, and I'm so excited to get back into that. Must continue, so I'll keep you updated. Kale is definitely getting a crush on Urine, and I am loving that for the both of them. I came across another moment that made me really appreciate doing the tandem read. So when the princess was basically threatening Urine to try and get where Aelin is currently at from Kale, and she told Kale like that the princess was threatening her, and he decided, oh, I'll say Skull's Bay, because that's like, she'll never go there. Little did he know that in Empire of Storms, she was actually there. She was actually right there at Skull's Bay. Like, that's something that I don't know if I would have picked up on and appreciated as much as I did if I was not reading both books at the exact same time. So that was so cool. I am so happy as well that Nesrin decided to go with Sartak on his little 3-week journey. She deserves the adventure that Kale has not given her but promised her. So good on her. I'm so glad she just left a little note and was just like, see ya. I think it'll be so good for her. Lysandra turning herself into a twin of Aelin's to get to the Pirate Lord was so funny. I think that's my favorite scene in this entire series. It was just so funny, and the way Aelin looked at Lysandra and was just like, you are gorgeous. Aelin keeps surprising me in the best ways. Back to Nesrin and Sartak. I'm really liking them together as a pair, as a strong duo, doing their thing. Their dynamic is so good, and they're just like the bestest of besties. I'm enjoying them separately as well as together. I think I like them better together as a pair, but separately they're also still really good books. So Dorian and Aelin's argument over Manon having a bit more freedom on the ship, Dorian gave me such icky vibes after that, and like him going after Rowan, who was like not even involved in the whole thing, like that was so uncalled for, dude. Also, the two siblings going after Kale after the rumors about Aelin like burning cities down when she actually wasn't was so crazy. And honestly, I'm not surprised by their characters because I've never really liked them, but it was really disappointing that they were doing that. I am glad that Kashin ended up visiting Kale after that happened and kind of giving him more information, clearing some things up, and not bringing him down even more. Both of these books, though, have been fulfilling my love for enemies to lovers. I am eating them up. So much is happening, and it is just further confirming my incredibly awesome decision to read both of these books at the same time. I'm having so much fun. Kale and Yarine's kiss, and then Kale being able to stand again was so exciting. I'm so happy for him. Aelin taking out those 500 Ilkin was so cool, and then the Aelin, Manon, and Alid reunion after everything that they have gone through together was just so sweet and precious, and I just wanted to give them all the biggest of hugs. And them running into Ansel was so crazy. I did not see that coming, but you know what? She had a debt to pay to Aelin, and so she better have shown up. I honestly just forgot about that. The princess also cornering Yarine into like the marriage thing on her birthday dinner was so uncalled for. I am so glad though that Yarine pushed the princess into the pool after she was saying all of that crap. She so deserved that, and Yarine finally stood up for herself. I'm so happy about that. I will most likely be finishing both of these books in just a little bit of time. I am devastated with how Empire of Storms has finished. I cried so hard. I did not see that coming. The betrayal just hurts my heart so much. Finding out as well in the middle of all of that Rowan and Aelin are actually mates and that they got married. my heart is in pieces. The fact that I had to go back as well and finish Tower of Dawn was awful. The ending of this destroyed me, and then I had to go back and potentially hurt my feelings even more with Tower of Dawn. Thankfully, the ending of Tower of Dawn was actually really happy. The princess had an epic redemption, and I can't believe that it was Duva who was the one infected by the Valg demon dudes, but I'm so happy that she's okay now. I feel so sad for her though. Being pregnant and dealing with a demon parasite in you must have not been fun at all. Nesrin and Sartak's ending was so cutesy. I'm so happy with how they left off. Yrene and Kale getting married as well. I wish we got a bit more details on that instead of us just being told, especially because we didn't see Rowan and Aelin get married either, and so I was kind of hoping we got that, but it's okay. Overall, could not recommend enough reading both of these books at the same time. I loved the whole experience of reading them together. Being able to go back and forth between both stories in basically the exact same timeline is an experience that I will never forget because it was truly so cool. It will be the best decision of your life to choose to read both of these books at the same time. I was scared at first, I will admit, but it is so incredibly worth it. Just do the tandem read. I don't know if Sarah J. Maas had this plan all along, but it truly felt like these books were meant to be read together at the same time. Because I did read them at the same time, I am gonna give them a collective 5 stars. Reading experience and everything was absolute perfection. Honestly, I'm not even gonna go into the territory of trying to individually rate them because I think just hear it from me, 5 stars, read them both at the same time. That is it with the tandem read though. I am going to be going into the final book, Kingdom of Ash. Because of the ending of Empire of Storms, I am incredibly nervous going into Kingdom of Ash. It is also a hefty book, sitting at just under 1,000 pages. Hopefully it's a good ending to the entire series. It has been a wild ride. Hopefully Kingdom of Ash is the ending to the series that it deserves. Here's my face and here's the book. Insane how huge this book is, but I am so excited. I was worried about the amount of graphic detail we would be getting from Aelin's capture, especially with the context of the back of the book. But it's not as gory, gruesome, graphic as I was worried it might be. Like, it's definitely not on the level of like Fourth Wing, Iron Flame. Those were to me like a whole other level. I think because it is still technically like YA, she like held back on that, which honestly I appreciate. I'm not a big gory person. To me, it's hard to read, and it's not in like a fun way hard to read, it's just like hard to read. That being said, Aelin and what she is going through is absolutely horrible. So sad. I feel so sad for her. Sending her such good vibes. She is so strong to push through what she is going through right now. I love that Abraxos and Narine are mates. I think that is so cute, and I love that Manon and the other 13 just didn't know at all. They had no idea. Fenris and his sacrifice to save Aelin. Oh my god. And then the fact that she saved his life by giving him the blood oath. I was so hoping that it would actually work, and it did work, and I am really happy that both Aelin and Fenris are okay after that torture they went through. Obviously, it's gonna take a long time to adjust and process processed everything, which is completely understandable, but I am at least glad that they are out of that situation. I am flying through this book. I think part of it was that I was so desperate to get to the part of the book where Aelin is finally free and not in that torture. I think it is so messed up that Chaol's father told him that Yrene was pregnant literally right before battle. Not the time, not the place. He needs to be in the best mindset. And I would think his father would want him to be like that too, because he's literally fighting for his country or place or province or whatever it's called. Like, what? Make it make sense, dude. I am so proud of Manon and her little speech to everybody. That was so inspirational and cool, and she's come such a long way and such a successful way to get the witches on their side. So many reunions have happened and it makes me so happy. The Manon and Elide, and then Elide and Aelin, and then the three of them as well, just as a little trio. And Falcon actually being revealed as the merchant from Assassin's Blade. I think that is so cool. The connectedness of all of these books is just incredible. I knew that it would not end well. Lysandra posing as Aelin. Like, you can't just do that. They really thought that they could get away with it, and it bit them in the butt. I'm really proud of Lysandra for finally letting Aedion have it for how terrible he's been treating her. Like, regardless of what she did, his treatment towards her for the last how many weeks is absolutely inexcusable. Aelin also evaporating an entire dam of water was so cool. Continuing on, I am loving this book. I'm having so much fun. There is so much that is happening, and I'm really glad that we're jumping through every POV, but it's just one book. Something hits different about the fact that I am hearing about every single character that was in both Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms, but just in one book instead of two. It just hits so different. Dorian scheming with Maeve freaked me out, because you know what? I doubted him. I truly did doubt him. There was no place in my brain that ever thought that he was actually trying to trick her. He just successfully did it so well. He even tricked me. The fact that he also took the keys from Manon and just hid them somewhere completely random that he didn't even mark at all, which, like, is smart, but also, what if you forget, sir? Like, when are you coming back? I'm proud of him though. The Crochans arriving just in time for battle made me so emotional, especially because this whole time it was like a countdown to death for them or enslavement. This battle was just depressing. Nothing good sounded like it was gonna come of it. Not my favorite environment for them. I am so not surprised as well that Aelin basically tricked Dorian so that she could actually sacrifice herself into making the lock and then putting the keys back into the gate. Disappointed? Yes, but not surprised in the slightest. And she lost all of her power. What are they gonna do? They just lost the greatest weapon they had against Maeve and Erewhon. I'm so close to being done with this book, and I'm so sad about it. I don't want it to end. I'm not ready for this series to conclude. Kingdom of Ash is done. The ending was so cute. I am so happy that everybody got their happy endings. That is my absolute favorite thing. Abraxos losing his mate made me sadder than literally any other death, and there were some that made me sad, but nothing compared to Abraxos staring off after the battle at where he lost his mate. The little folk showing up to Aylin's coronation and giving her a little crown that fit perfectly with her other queenly crown was so good and cute. Love the little detail. There were so many tears and gasps and heightened emotions coming from me because this was just amazing, incredible. Even though some of the times in this book were not fun moments, overall I had such a good reading experience. Honestly, 6-star territory right here. I absolutely loved every single page and step of the way. Just under 1,000 pages, I consumed this whole book in about 4 days. It was insane. That concludes reading this entire series, 8 books, 2 at the exact same time. I had so much fun. The character evolution is something that I've only ever experienced in ACOTAR as well as the Magnolia Parks series. To me, like, this is gold. These books have become some of my prized possessions. I love them so much. Shout out to my annotation tabs and my markers for making it the whole way through. You can tell which books I liked the most. Thank you again so much for stopping by, and I will see you in the next one.